Hey there, Fit Fam. Welcome to the only podcast where we're breaking the mold and rewriting the rules. I'm here to debunk the myths, spill the tea, and serve a hefty dose of reality. No matter where you're at in your journey, we've got something for everybody. So buckle up because we're about to unleash the basics in the most unapologetic way possible. From shedding pounds to embracing your inner badass, I'm here to remind you that skinny is so last season and the basics are anything but boring. So grab your favorite piece of protein and your water bottle and get ready to be empowered, entertained, and educated because being a basics bitch has never looked this good. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Don't Call Me Skinny. Super excited to be here with you today. I realize that my shades are closed today. My BFF stayed the night on Saturday, and I didn't realize that all my blinds are closed. So it seems a little darker in here than I'd like, but we're going to go with it because I've already started recording. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week so far. If you did not catch Monday's episode, please go back, check it out. We talked about being authentic and being confident in your authenticity and what does authenticity mean to us and what is the real definition of it and how does this work? What does it look like? It was a really great conversation, authentic parenting and authentic relationships and all these things that we kind of talked about that really do affect our everyday life when we don't show up as who we want to be. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. What I am going to tell you is I talked a little bit last week about, the potential of a little bit of a shift in fat loss basics group coaching. I am shifting this back a little bit because I still have people who are reaching out and asking. And here's the deal. What I'm going to tell you is if somebody reaches out and say, hey, I need help, I really don't want to have them have to wait. I really don't want to have them wait until my next session, wait until this happens, wait until that happens. When somebody's ready to get to work, I want them to be able to get to work. And so I've had a few people since I've closed the doors. One person hopped in, one person's on the fence. Like, I just want people to be able to come into the container. So it's going to look a little bit differently. But if you're still interested in fat loss basics group coaching, you can go ahead and send me a message and let's get you either in or ask the questions that you need to ask. We can hop on a call, discuss what needs to be discussed. And go from there. But I will say it's prettybombass.com right now. Ladies are absolutely crushing it. We're in technically week 4. We were talking about protein and fiber this week, why these are important. And I'm just the interaction that's happening and everything is freezing. The interaction that's, there we go, happening this round is just very, it's just so different. Everything feels different. And even on a few of the check-ins this week that I got, it was just like, man, everything's starting to finally click and seem a little bit easier. So I'm really excited for my ladies there. That being said, I want to talk today about calorie calculators because I feel like calorie calculators, I see this all the time. Oh, my calorie calculator told me to eat this. Or I see super random generic shit getting women telling other women, well, I only eat 1,200 calories, so you should do that. Or I do really well at 1,500 and I can lose weight there, so you should do that. Number one, nobody that should not be giving advice should you be taking advice from. So those randos on the internet and whatever else, including your doctor, I'm going to say it, probably doesn't have the education to tell you to eat 1,200 calories. That's bullshit. Ask him what a BMR is, ask him what your TDEE is, and then make a plan. And if they can't tell you what any of those things are, fucking leave. Or at least don't listen to them when it comes to this part. So we can't be taking advice from rando people of just eat this random amount, right? And what I want to say about the calorie calculators is you can go to TDEE.com. I have a calorie calculator. If you go into my link tree, there's in the link in the show notes, you can go in there and you can click on my TDE calculator. What I like about mine is I get to pick how the math is done. So that's number one, because there's multiple formulas that you can get these TDEEs from. And what I like to do is I like mine because it gives a bunch of details. It asks you what your goal is, but it's going to tell you specifics. So it'll even give you a macro breakdown of your things. So when you get it, you receive an email and there's a whole bunch of information. And now, again, information isn't any good unless we put it to action or we do something with it. But information can be good if it's the right information. Kind of what you do is good if you're doing all the things and if they're the right things, that's better than just doing all these rando things. Okay. But this is what I want to say about calorie calculators across the board. Even mine, I'm going to say this, even mine, okay? Even mine is not a holy grail. It is not the answer. And I think that we get caught up in like these numbers and they have to be specific and not understanding that our body fluctuates in calorie expenditure every single day. How much you moved, how much you didn't move. Maybe what you're doing, your stress levels, how much muscle mass you have on your body, how much time you slept for. Like all of these things play a role and every day this changes. So when we get a calorie calculator number, okay, it'll tell us to do X, Y, Z. And it'll say like, this is your total daily expenditure. And it'll tell us to go do these things. I'm actually going to pull mine up here. This is not it. That was not it. It'll tell us like eat this amount. This is what you expend daily. And what it's using is your height, your weight, your age. So I'm going to go ahead and put mine in. I'm 41. I'm a female. I don't know how many. I don't know what this is. Okay, U.S. units. There we go. I'm like, come on. I don't know what I am. I don't know what 140 centimeters is. Okay. And it also goes based off of your, what's it called? Your age, your activity level, right? So right here, it gives me all this information. So it's telling me mild weight loss around 2,000 calories a day. Weight loss, 1 pound a week is 1,700 calories a day. And extreme weight loss at 2 pounds a week, I would have to be down to close to 1,300. Okay. It also gives me what I want for the intake, right? If I wanted to grow, right? If I wanted to gain weight. Okay. Of course, it's giving me BMI score, which is bullshit, but it tells me approximately my energy requirement is 2,200 calories a day. So this is my total daily energy expenditure, what I spend through a day. But it doesn't take into consideration every little nuance, right? So on days that I don't record podcasts, guess what? I don't move my hands like this, so all crazy. That's an expenditure piece. If I get more steps some days than other, then you have that. If my steps are higher, my expenditure is higher, right? If typically a leg day, I'm going to expend more energy than on an arm day because the muscles are different sizes, like they're not the same size. So all of those things are going to matter when it comes to your expenditure, and they do fluctuate every day. So on average, it's telling me my calorie expenditure is 2,200. I think it was 18. Oh, no, 2,268. But maybe one day I have something that's closer to 2,000. Or maybe another day I have something that's a little closer to 2,400. Like, right? And this is why we have to understand, once we get the information, what the fuck do we do with this, okay? And this is also why throwing somebody some random fucking numbers that say, oh, here, just eat this. Eat this. Just eat these 1,200 calories. 1,200 calories would put me in an extreme weight loss, which is not ideal. You don't want to be in an extreme weight loss, okay? That's number one. So that's not good. 1,500 calories would actually put me a little bit lower than normal weight loss. Like I always recommend a half a pound to a pound a week, right? So 1,500 calories takes me still above. It's probably closer to that 1.5 pounds a week. At almost 1,800 calories, I'm at 1 pound a week. Okay, so this is why random fucking numbers and people are just like, here, just eat this. Here, just do this. Just do that. Just do this. It's like, that doesn't even make sense. And then it's like, what am I supposed to do? And how do I utilize this information? So this is just a random calculator online, and there's thousands of them. There are thousands of them. And it doesn't, quote unquote, matter which one you use. It matters what do you do with the information when you have it. Okay. So if I see that around 2,000 calories is going to be a mild weight loss, then if that's what I'm aiming for is a half a pound a week, right? Why is that more beneficial? You're probably thinking to yourself, but Sarah, 2,000 calories, that's so much, and only a half a pound a week. Okay. If you're watching live, I'm not going to take it out, but like that's like a pound of fat. So when you're talking about like losing a half a pound a week, ideally that's actually a lot. Okay. It's a lot. It's a lot of fucking fat. So it's like 2,000 calories, but guess what that allows you to do? It allows you to have girls' day with, mimosas with the girls' day. It allows you a date night with your husband. It allows you a little bit more freedom and a little bit easier to stick to. Like, instead of going, well, I have to eat 1,200 calories and I can't have this and I can't have that and I can't do this and I can't do that and I can't. And then guess what happens? You don't fucking stick to the plan because it's so fucking restrictive. Doing it in a slower pace is why slower is better. Slow and steady wins the race. You're going to get there actually faster because you're going to be able to stick with it. You can stick in it for a longer period of time. I have a client right now where we have not gotten her weight really to budge recently. And we went into a calorie deficit right before the holidays, which isn't like, we weren't like, oh my gosh, you have to stay in this calorie deficit, right? It's like, okay, we're going to take you there. This is what it's going to feel like. Obviously you're going to have days that you're over. Like, this is not a big deal. But now that we are well out of the holidays and, she had some life that she was dealing with, I'm like, the first thing that we need to do is increase your steps. If you're only getting around 6,200 steps, we need to be going for 8,000 to 9,000 steps, right? So before I continue to fucking slash her calories, I, as a coach, can cohesively see, no, the first thing we need to do is increase your expenditure. That's actually what we need to do. And it's not about eating less and moving more. We're eating the same. I'm not touching her calories and I just want her to move a little bit more. Okay. That is where we're at. And it's not this like, oh my God, you better get in 8,000 steps every single day for the next 4 weeks. That is not how that works. That is not how that works. Okay. It's like, hey, let's see if we can get like 2 days where we can get you at 8,000 steps and see how that feels. Or let's just aim for 1 day or whatever day feels good for you. Let's try that, right? So it's understanding that if you think that 2,000 calories sounds so egregious and so high, it's because you're so accustomed to doing the bullshit fad trend diets that it is egregious and high for you. That makes sense that it would sound like, oh my God, this is so much. I can't eat that much, ma'am. You can't eat that much. If you are overweight, I hate to say it, this is coming from somebody who weighed 250 pounds. You can't eat that much. You did eat that much. Sorry, but that's how that works. You don't get to over 200 pounds by not eating fucking a lot of food. I'm sorry, but that's the reality. Okay. That's the inner conversation and a conversation that you need to have with yourself in the mirror. Okay. And that's just the reality of it. I have been there. I understand. I know what I was doing. Looking back on it now, it would have been very hard. And it was very hard for me to admit in the moment what I was doing. But now I can look back and objectively go, yep, I was eating like an asshole. Like, what did I expect was going to happen? Okay. So you don't get to this place by eating that much, but here's the other thing. If you set your calories, let's say I set my calories at 1,800, which is actually where I'm at right now, is around 1,800 calories. Okay. And I set my calories here and I am 100%, 90 to 100% good with tracking and I'm not seeing adjustments or I'm not seeing a shift. That is when I need to start making adjustments. Only when I know that I am 90 to 100% accurate. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you try to start going lower and lower and lower and lower and you're not accurately tracking your food, you're not going to get there, because the problem isn't actually the calories need to go lower. It's that you need to adhere to your process. You need to be more consistent. You need to do the things that you need to fucking do. Again, that's that hard look in the mirror that you're going to have with yourself and have that conversation like, okay, Sarah, my Mission 180 is literally prime example. I've been on this game since July and I still am not there. I'm not even close to where I thought I would be. And it is what it is, right? It's slow and steady. Somebody even reached out to me the other day on TikTok and said, how's Mission 180 going? Slow. And it would probably be a lot faster if I hired somebody. Honestly, because I have that accountability, right? The majority of you don't need to be told how many calories you need to eat. The majority of you don't need to be told how much protein you need to eat. You need to be held accountable for the shit that you are doing or the shit that you aren't doing, right? That's me in the current moment. Like, that's what I need, even myself, okay? So it's understanding that process. But then it's also being able to shift and adjust when and only when it's necessary, okay? You have to go like 3 to 6 weeks consistently 90 to 100% tracking your food before we can start making adjustments. That period. And then everybody, I did a whole podcast on what is a plateau and how do you come out of a plateau, right? A lot of people think 2 weeks at the same weight is a plateau. No, like 8 weeks at the same weight is a plateau, guys. This is the reality of the situation. We're so damn impatient We are so damn impatient. Okay. And again, are you plateauing or are you not being honest about what you're putting in your mouth? Okay, we call them the BLTs, the bites, licks, and tastes. Ever heard of those? The BLTs of tracking food. How many times are we putting in bites, licks, and tastes? I just ate like probably total of a cookie, maybe a cookie and a half of oatmeal raisin that's sitting on my fucking counter right now that got left at my house. I didn't want in my house for this exact reason. I mean, it tastes good. That's the problem. Okay. So it's being able to, all this matters, and when to adjust and how do I adjust, right? It's not as simple as this calculator just spitting out numbers and then it's like, here you go, right? The other thing that I want to touch on while we're talking about these calorie calculators is your BMR. When people are telling you to eat 1,200 calories, okay, when they tell you to do this, unfortunately for you, you're probably going under your BMR. So I'm going to pull up this random, I don't know if I can do that. I don't think I can pull up somebody's that's used my calculator. I was going to pull up, somebody that used mine to kind of give an idea. But I'm going to go ahead and put mine into my calculator, because I want you to understand the difference between your total daily expenditure and your BMR. Your BMR is the thing that keeps you alive. It's your basal metabolic rate, and it's what you need in order to just stay alive. So your blood to work, to pump through your body, your, sorry, I'm like trying to type and do this. We're going for fat loss. Agree. Your blood to pump, your heart to work, your lungs to work, your digestive to work. And see, here you go. This one here, it's telling me that my TDEE is upwards of 2,500 calories. So it's a little bit different than the last calculator. It's telling me that my BMR is 1593. This is exactly what it says. Your basal metabolic rate is the number of calories your body needs to accomplish its most basic life-sustaining functions. I like to call this your coma calories, right? This is how many calories your body would burn if you were in a coma for 24 hours, okay? This, however, is just the calories your body needs to function. The number we need to figure out is your total daily expenditure. And sorry if you hear my dogs, okay? And this is giving me like a whole fat loss, like what I need here in order to lose fat, gain muscle, all that kind of stuff. But your total daily expenditure is an estimation of how many calories you burn when exercise is taken into consideration. Okay. So then you take your BMR and it's multiplying that value by an activity like 0.1 or 2 or 3 or whatever it is. Okay. Your BMR, if you go under your BMR, it literally said, this is the amount of calories that your body would burn if you were in a coma. So if you don't work, if you don't have kids, if you lay in bed like a vegetable all day, you can't, not watching TV because that requires brain power. Right? Not scrolling on your phone, that requires brain power. Not jittering and moving your hands. We're talking about literally being in a coma, not moving, doing it like a vegetable. Okay. That is what your BMR means. So if I'm eating under 1,593, and I always say plus or minus like 50 to 100 because it's not exact. Again, we don't have to have these exact numbers. Okay. If I'm eating less than that, that means my systems are going to start shutting down. They're going to start taking things. If you listen to the interview with Christina McClurkin, we talked about this. It'll start shutting down functions of the body that literally you need to live. Okay. Here's a great analogy. Our, not carburetor, our compressor on my Acadia, it blew, essentially it seized. Okay. And that in turn then made the serpentine belt not function the way it was supposed to, which actually drives, like it gives us power steering and it has a lot of functions. Okay. And so when you turn on the vehicle, it would say like battery save mode in operation. And it started shutting down all these functions of my car. Like we had to get the car towed to get it fixed, but it started shutting every fucking thing down. That is what happens inside of your body. It is very good. It's a very easy thing to do to compare our bodies to vehicles because they run very similarly to vehicles. Lots of intricate details, lots of systems that play a role with each other and help each other out. Or if they're not working appropriately, can really fuck some shit up. It's the same concept, right? In your processes, your digestive system takes a lot of energy. Your thyroid takes energy. All of those things take energy. And so if you're not putting energy in your body just to fucking be a vegetable, how the fuck do you expect your body to function appropriately? Like, for real. Like, ask yourself, am I even eating enough for my body to fucking function? Okay. And this is understanding, like, this is why understanding what your BMR is and what your TDEE is, because they are two different numbers. Your BMR is what you need to stay alive. Your TDEE is the total daily expenditure. Okay. Now, in order for fat loss, they're putting me in here as, let's see. I had to find it. Sorry. Okay. They're having me around 2,200 calories. This is to drop weight. We suggest you make an initial reduction of 300 calories from your TDEE, which would break down like this. And then it actually gives me macro percentages. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. And then this whole thing is really cool because it gives you, what's it called? It gives you an email with all this information, and it actually gives you a higher carb and a higher fat macro breakdown, which is really kind of nice. Now, I am eating around 1,800, but my consistency and my consistency is not at 90 to 100%. So I could go back right now and look at my food logs. In the last 2 weeks, I have done really shittily at logging my food. So can I expect to get the result that I want? Oh, but I'm basically doing it. Oh, but I'm eating clean enough. Oh, but I know I'm kind of doing those things, right? This is also why, even though your activity is taken into consideration to get your TDEE, your activity level actually is very minimal for your calorie burn. This is why we do not pay attention to our watches. Fucking move on from that shit. None of that stuff matters, right? Our activity level, you're going to be so upset about this, but your exercise, your movement that so many of you are fucking hung up on, like, I'm just not motivated to move my body. Cool. Eat a fucking vegetable instead. Okay. Eat a fucking vegetable. So your exercise only burns 2 to 5% of your calorie burn. What burns the most is your actual BMR, which is why it's important to have muscle, because the more muscle you have, the more you burn at rest, AKA being a fucking vegetable, doing fucking nothing while you're sleeping, all these things. Just by having more muscle, lean mass on your body, you're going to burn more calories at your BMR, which is the highest burn. For all your shit in your body to work, that's what burns the most calories out of everything. And so it costs you more calories to fucking digest food than it does your training. Okay? Hate to burst your bubble at Orange Theory Fitness and F45 and all this bullshit. You are never going to out-train a bad diet. Get with it. Get on board. Fucking buck it up, because that's the reality. So we don't have to worry so much about our expenditure. It is going to ask you, are you sedentary? Are you lightly active? Are you moderately active? Are you very active or extremely active, right? The only people who should be putting extremely active on any of these calculators is if you're a fucking roofer, construction worker. Outside of this, you are not extremely active. I train 6 days a week and I still put moderately active 4 to 5 times. That's what I put, because that's actually where I'm at. I'm not in an extreme expenditure. Okay. Even though I train 6 days a week, it's not the case. Okay. So you should be putting sedentary. If you get 2,000 on average, 2 to 4,000 steps a day, you're fucking sedentary. Okay. If you're getting 4 to 6, you're maybe in that lightly category. 6 and 8, you're in that moderate category. But if you're not doing anything outside of getting steps, you're probably more in the sedentary or lightly active. This is why understanding what you're doing matters. It understands that nuance matters. Understanding that what Joe Blow on the fucking TikTok says, telling you to eat 1,200 calories, doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Okay. This is why this is so important to understand. So stop getting these calorie calculator things and stop letting them be the holy grail and the, oh my gosh, and all the things, and just get the number and get a good idea of where you should start. And then you have to be you have to be willing to be flexible as you learn and as you go. And maybe things aren't going the right way. And then you need to slice a little bit more calories. Maybe you're losing too fast. You need to add a little bit more like all of these things fucking matter. They fucking matter. And they're so nuanced. None of my group coaching people have the same protocol. Yes, we work on the same things. None of my one-on-one coaching has the same protocol. Yes, we work on the same things. Oop, that was very loud. Yes, that's the reality of this, but nobody has the same stuff. Nobody has the same calories. Oh yeah, that is one reason why I left a gym. Oh, just tell them that your clients typically eat between this and this, and then tell them to eat somewhere in between there. Negligent as fuck. And I quit after that. That was the second thing. I said, I'm out. None of what this is negligent as shit. Negligent as fucking shit. So I bounced. Said, I'm not doing that no more. Okay. You have to understand what you're doing, and you have to be willing to be okay with not fucking knowing to begin with. Like if you're listening to this, like, oh my God, Sarah, you're so mean. You're like yelling at me and all these things. Oh my God. No, I'm not yelling at you. I'm fucking irritated. I'm irritated that some of us aren't willing to put in the work to learn, that some of us aren't willing to understand that we don't need to do these extreme fucking fad trend diets. That is not how this fucking shit works. Not how it works. So on that note, I'm going to let you guys go for the day. My kids are home from school. Finally back to full days. This has been a wild 3-4 weeks coming out of the holidays, but, we are almost into February. And again, if you're interested in Fat Loss Basics, where you're going to get a set point, a start point. And then like today, I was able to go through food logs and help people. Like, this is where we can shift. This is where we can adjust. This is where we need more of this, less of this, more of this, and go from there. That's because every person is different. Nobody has the same fucking shit going on. And that's what I do, guys. That's what I do. So I will talk to you guys on Friday No Filter. I hope you have a great hump day. Thanks so much for listening today. If you laughed, learned, or just felt a vibe, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Your support keeps this ass train chugging along. If you're ready to embrace the basics with a twist, follow me on social media. Links are in the show notes, and let's see the ways we can work together. All right, basics bitches, you're not just listeners, you're part of the revolution. Remember, skinny's out, basics are in, and you're looking damn good doing it. So until next time, stay basic.